What's going on, good people? What's going on? We're back, man. We're at the boat ramp now, getting ready to get launched. Man, look at that scene, man. Look at that scene. We got a lot of fog on the water this morning. Never really came out with it this foggy. So yeah, guys, it's been a minute, right? It's been a minute. I've been trying my best to put out a video every week. You know, just hadn't happened though, right? So I haven't been sitting on my hands, man. I've been fishing. And as y'all know, man, I've been catching these crappie on standing timber or brush piles and 10 to 15 foot of water for the most part, from the summer until the fall. I came out to the boat ramp about 2 weeks ago, and I tried to fish those same areas, and I noticed that I just couldn't find crappie hugging this timber like I normally was. So I looked at my depth chart, my fish finder, and I saw that the surface temperature was 55 degrees. So it's 55 on the surface, but you know, of course it's gonna be much cooler as you get deeper. So when that water drops below 50 degrees, these fish begin to transition into their winter holding patterns. So I'm anticipating these fish being in deeper water. Now I've been out 3 times in the past 2 weeks. The first time I caught some fish near some structure in about 25 foot of water, very close to the bottom. Second time out, I found them in the channel. Same depth, about 25 foot as well. And then Sunday, I fished under a bridge, and I also caught some, yeah, I think all the fish I caught Sunday under the bridge. So what I'm gonna be doing today is I'm gonna be trolling, and I'm gonna be trolling crankbaits. Real quick, guys, I realized I didn't do a great job of explaining exactly why I chose to troll crankbaits. Over the past 2 trips out, I found a lot of crappie stacked up under bridges. So I figured I should be able to pick off a few in the river channels in between the bridges leading out to deeper water. Let me show you my setup. So today we're gonna be using trolling rods. I've got these B&M Pro Staff trolling rods, super stiff graphite. This is a 14 footer. This is a 3-piece rod. Y'all see that there? 3-piece rod. And then I've also got, running next to that, I'll have my 12-foot trolling rod from B&M. This is gonna be my setup. I've got 4 rod holders, 2 on each side. I have a 14 here, I have a 14 here, and I'll have a 12 here and a 12 here. Then my reel that I'll be using is gonna be a pin reel. Now, I know this looks like a saltwater reel for sure. I didn't know that much when I was buying it. This just has a line counter on it right here. See, I can hit that button there and then reset it to 0. And I believe I have 15-pound braid on here on both of these reels. I use a bright yellow on one, and then I'll use this dark green on another. And that's just so you know, if we get any line twists, I know which lines I'm pulling on. These are gonna be my crankbaits. We're going with Bandit 300s. All the trolling I've done on crankbaits, I've done with Bandit 300s, and I've caught, like I said, about 4 or 5 crappie on them. I also caught a crappie casting a crankbait on a Berkley flicker shad, I believe. Also, guys, what I almost forgot is, what I'm really excited about today is, man, we're gonna be doing a catch and cook. It's Tuesday, November 28th. So yeah, man, it's Taco Tuesday. So we're gonna be cooking on some fresh, clean, tasty crappie tacos for you guys. So yeah, let me go ahead and get rigged up. Everything's finished setting up, and I'll see you guys on the water. All right, guys, so I came out here once before. That's why you see some waypoints marked off. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna focus on trolling in this channel. And we're gonna ride the ledges as well. I think my terminology is correct. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I would assume this is a ledge right here. And there's the bottom of the channel. So we're gonna try to ride all across that ledge there. As you can see, it's about 33 feet deep there. So we're gonna be paying to both what our unit shows us on the bottom, and also we're gonna be looking for suspended crappie. Then you come out and you see stuff like this, and it's hard not to ride over it and at least see what it is. Let's turn around real quick. But shortly here, I'm gonna go ahead and, oh wow, what's that? So let's circle around and see what we're spotting here. You know, even though my intention is to come out and troll, hey look, if I find some crappie on some structure, I have no problem throwing my minnow and a bobber down and getting it cracking just like that. Well, we found the crappie. Little small guy here. Hit it when I was reeling it up. So I did spot some crappie. Definitely not the size we were looking for. I think I'm gonna go ahead and move on though. But it's good to know that we did in fact see some crappie down there. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up these buoys. And we're gonna go ahead and start trolling. I couldn't help myself, y'all. So right now we're following the creek channel back to the main channel, and we're gonna go ahead and drop our crankbaits in the water. So what I like to do is I like to go ahead and position them in my rod holder, and then I get my crankbait to the point where it's just on top of the water. I flip over my reel and we'll put this to 0. So we're gonna set up all of those rods the same way, and then we'll come back and we'll start to drop them. Or actually we're gonna set up the front two first, and then we'll go ahead and drop them down, and then we'll throw out the back two so that they don't get tangled. How I figure out how deep I need to go and the speed that I need to go, I just Googled, man, Bandit 300 trolling depth chart, Bandit 300 depth chart, and I found this chart that's been pretty accurate for me. So I want to be running at about, I think we'll start off at, I'm gonna start off at 12 feet actually, and we'll move up and down from there. So I need to put out 54 feet of line, and I need to be going at 1.6 miles an hour in order to get these crankbaits down to 12 feet. I'm gonna slowly pick up my speed and let out my line. We're at 35, 36, 40, 45, 43, 50, 53, there's 54. We'll lock the spool, and as y'all can see, you see that you can see the rod tip bouncing, and that means that we're diving and it's moving in the water as it should. One good thing about this trolling motor is I'm able to, once I get turned around and I'm matching the front of my boat with the ledge of the channel, I can press this north button right there. Y'all see that? I can press that north button, and that'll keep me on the line while I'm fixing my these crankbaits. All right, so what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna adjust these to 18 feet deep. So we'll have the bottom two rods trolling at 18 feet and top two at 12. Man, guys, I tell you, I'm so tempted to just stop trolling and drop down my line, man. All of these, I believe, are gonna be crappie. I think that's all crappie down in there. I honestly am not seeing any fish suspended, so I'm wondering if I'm coming at this the wrong way. I'll tell you what, it's 11 o'clock. I think I'm gonna pull these lines in, and we're gonna pull back around to those fish, and we're gonna drop a minnow down and see if we can get one to bite. If we don't get any to bite in about 30 to 45, we'll troll back towards the bridge, and I'm pretty certain we'll catch a few there. Fish on, baby. Fish on. Fish on. That's what I'm talking about. I was up under them, guys. I was fishing too deep. It's catfish. So these are catfish here. Man, I thought that was a crappie. All right, y'all, I think we gave it enough time. I am tempted to switch over to a jig, but I'm not gonna do it right now. I'm pretty sure those are crappie down there, but it's all good. We're gonna keep it pushing. I know for sure when we get this bridge, man, this bridge is just too long for there not to be crappie stacked up over here somewhere. Well, y'all, today is going nothing like I planned it. There's that other bridge over there. I'm tempted to go over it there, but I mean, as bare as this one is, I'm like, what's the point? There we go, baby. Fish on, y'all. Fish on, guys. Fish on. I hope this is a crappie. There we go, baby. There we go, baby. There we go, guys. Work hard for this one, y'all. We work hard for this one. Worked hard for this one. The first bridge we came to, there were no crappie. That's one. Look at this guy. It's beat up a little bit. We'll take him though. Nice healthy 10.5. Tell you guys, these fishermen are like vultures out here, man. I just made a pass, my initial pass, to see if there was anything on this pylon, and before I could make it from under the bridge, I start to turn around and there's a boat right behind me, and they actually had the nerve to stop right where I caught that last fish. And I was collapsing my rods, and they decided to go ahead and move once they see that I was I guess once they figured out that I saw fish here. They still stayed for about 3 minutes too long. Don't be that guy, guys. Don't be that guy. See if I can get one more. Next one, we'll go ahead and we'll cut the gills on them, bunk them in the head a couple of times, and get ready for these tacos. All right, guys, so man, it was a rough one today. We ended up with that one keeper, caught a little small guy and that one catfish earlier. So we saw plenty of fish, spotted plenty of fish. I believe I was seeing crappie close to the bottom out here. I think it may be that jigging season, that vertical jigging season. That's what I was doing last year to catch, you know, 10 to 12 per day. Also the bridges, of course. I was really surprised that first bridge we came to didn't have many crappie, but the second bridge, it had, you know, it had a nice amount. So it's a learning lesson every time we come out though, so no complaints here whatsoever. All that non-catching did make me work up an appetite though, so let's go ahead and get these tacos going. All right, so we're gonna be cooking on the kayak today, man. Kind of excited about this, A lot of people call me crazy. But I think it's gonna work out pretty good. So this is my Yak Attack rod holder. Today it's gonna serve as a cutting board slash table. So we bought some cardboard that we're gonna use as the as our cutting board for our fish. But first, let's go ahead and cut up our vegetable toppings for our tacos. And that way, once we cook up the fish, we can throw everything right on it and we can go ahead and eat. All right, so let's go ahead and cut up our toppings. First, we're gonna start off with a tomato. I didn't bring any other knife, so I'm gonna have to use a fillet knife. Not the best option, but it'll work. We're gonna cut everything fairly small. When you're making tacos, you want everything to be kind of the same shape. So every bite you get an equal portion of each of the toppings. So we'll just cut this guy in half. Start it off like that. Make some quick strips out of it. Like I said, when you're at home, don't use your fillet knife. You'll definitely need a chopping knife. Then we'll go with our red cabbage. It's gonna take thin strips. Come cut it in half. Put it on top. Hit it with a little light chop. One more slice. And you can put as much or as little of each topping as you like. Next, we've got a red onion. Next, we've got cilantro. Just gonna get a rough chop on the cilantro. When you cut herbs like this, cutting it brings out the flavor. So it's never a bad idea to put a little chop on your cilantro. And then I like a little spice on my taco. So got a little Serrano pepper here. And then avocado. We'll wait till last for the avocado. I'm just gonna I'm gonna do thin slices because I don't want straight heat when I'm biting into this taco. But I do want that kick. All right, cool, so we got our vegetable toppings out the way. Let's go ahead and get to our sauce that's gonna go on our fish tacos. The sauce is pretty simple. It consists of mayo, crema. This is a Mexican like sour cream, but without the sour. Lime juice, and then we're gonna go with some chipotle, some chipotles and adobo sauce. So we're not gonna really use the actual chipotles, we're just gonna use the sauce. So we started it off with a little garlic powder I put in this morning, about a half a teaspoon. We'll come in with 1 part mayo, 1 part crema, we really just want the sauce on these peppers. I'm just gonna go with about a tablespoon because we don't want it too spicy. This chipotle adobo smells amazing. All right, let's go ahead and cut a lime straight in half. So I think we'll squeeze almost half of this lime juice in this sauce. I think that's enough right there. We still want the consistency to be kind of thick. We don't want it to be runny, right? And of course I left my spoon, so we'll just use this knife and stir this up really good. If it looks a little too runny, we'll add a little bit more mayo to thicken it up. That's actually looking perfect. Try to get all that garlic off the bottom. All right, y'all see that? Nice sauce for our fish tacos. Now for our main attraction, the crappie. I went ahead and bled him just so he would, would die a little bit quicker, and also bunked him a couple times to put him out. All right, so I'm just gonna fillet this guy up. And guys, everybody has a different way to fillet. Don't beat me up in the comment section. You know what I'm saying? This is just how I do it. And I don't do too bad. We'll see how I do with the pressure on me. So you just come up under this fin right here. And you come straight back. I try to come as far as I can to the head. When you poke back in and you find that backbone. So you find the backbone with the tip of the knife. And once you find the backbone, you start separating it, separating your meat from the backbone. You know, some of the pros, they can do one cut. I'm not quite there yet. And then once we get our knife to hit that rib cage in there, we'll come on an angle and we'll come out the other end. And then we pull through. And how I like to do it, some people will just cut through the rib bone. I like to separate the meat from the rib bone. I'm basically putting pressure down on the rib bone as I cut the meat. And then I come out the other end. Pressure. Have your knife facing down with pressure. That was supposed to be a lot easier. And I got most of that meat out. You see here? There really isn't anything there. We got a little something right there. Got a little something right here, but not too bad. It looked a lot worse than it came out. So we got that filleted. We're gonna take the skin off after we get this one filleted. Same thing, come up under that gill plate. Turn your knife over. Find the backbone. I like to get my cut started at the top of the backbone, and then I'll just press down, push through. So I'm pushing through, but I'm also got pressure on that knife. Push through, come out the other end, and then I like to come back and separate the fillet. Like this here. I'm gonna fillet over. We got a nice clean fish. We're gonna go ahead and just throw this on out. Some catfish will be thanking us later. So then, you know what I'll do actually before I take the skin off is any stomach that we have left, I just come up under it with the tip of the knife. So that way we're not taking any meat, but we are getting that stomach out. And then for these rib bones, I pull one of the bones up. I run my knife as close as I can to that rib bone, and it comes out just like that. Got a little stomach here, we'll get that out. All right, now let's go ahead and get this one done the same way. All right, so let's go ahead and get the skin removed. Usually you'll use something sharp like a fork or something. Just gonna use my nail since I left my fork. And you come down on an angle. You're not straight down. You're coming on an angle, applying pressure to remove the skin, to remove the fillet from the skin. And again, this is something that is a lot easier when you're standing above it, as opposed to this position that I'm in. I'll try to do my best. It's not too bad. I did leave a little meat there, a little meat there. Come back and let's get this one. This one isn't quite as pretty, but we got it done. All right, let's get some lime juice. We're gonna clean these guys up. I've got a thermos full of water. We'll wash them down as well. And then we'll get our skillet ready to go ahead and cook these fish. So we're gonna squeeze as much lime as we can on these guys, and the lime is going to do most of the hard work. Lemon juice and lime juice are excellent cleansers, natural cleansers. That guy's nice and clean. And let's throw him in our foil. And let's do the same thing with this guy. Just throw him in our foil. And we've got two pretty nice fillets here. The lime juice turns it a little white, so don't worry at all. It's just doing its part cleaning it. Now let's go ahead and get our stove ready. All right, so our box got a little bit of wet, but this is gonna be the propane stove that we're using. Get that at Bass Pro. I'll put the link in the description. Don't remember the cost, but it wasn't too bad. I want to say it was around 40 bucks. And then we're using this propane gas tank right here. All right, so the reason why we went with that Bass Pro stove is because I thought this was going to be the perfect setup. These legs fold out. You put your propane tank right in here. It's got a nice sturdy base. Then we come back with the top of the stove. If you just pull this rubber piece off, push down, or I'm sorry, this screws into place. All right, and then we got it tightly secured. You have the knob, the gas knob here. And it's lit. You can't see the flame too good, but it's lit, folks. We got a pan here. This isn't a pan from Ascend, regular old pan. And actually, before we throw our fish on the fire, definitely got to season that guy, right? So this is just a simple seasoning I made at home. It's oregano, chili powder, I believe, black pepper, Himalayan sea salt, and a couple of other flavors, man. I can't give you all the secrets, but whatever you like on your fish, man, just make it into your own dry rub. You don't have to buy anybody else's. So our pan is heating up just a little bit. So what we're gonna do down here, we're gonna go ahead and season our fish. Hit them with a nice seasoning of this rub. I'm gonna coat mine really well. Got a nice coating on there. Flip these guys over. Hit the other side. All right, so we got those guys seasoned up really nicely. Let's put our seasoning back up. Now you can use butter, you can use olive oil, you can use, you know, I would say for a pan fried with no breading, you're gonna want to use an olive oil, or this is grapeseed oil, maybe avocado oil. You can use butter, of course. We're just gonna wait for that thing to warm up just a little bit. Actually, we're going to add the oil now, and we're just gonna coat the bottom of the pan. We don't want too much in there. I think that's a good temperature right there. We're starting to see a little smoke coming from it, from the oil. Oh yeah. Turn it down just a little bit. And these don't take long to cook at all. Fish in general just doesn't take long. Give them maybe another 30 seconds and we'll flip it over. Look at that, guys. Looking good, looking good. Fire's probably a little too hot. Turn it down some. This really needs to cook no more than about 30 more seconds. I'm gonna press it down a little bit, make sure it gets cooked evenly. Open up our foil. We're gonna sit this to the side. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Flip this guy over. Look at that. Look at that, guys. Looks amazing. Let's turn this burner down a little bit more. It's a little too hot. Being that we're doing fish though, it's not gonna hurt it, it's not gonna kill it, because it's cooking fast anyway. What I am gonna do is I'm gonna let this fire cool down just a little bit, and then we'll throw the other one on. All right. Yep. So I had the fire turned all the way off. Oil got a little bit browner than I wanted to, but it'll be fine. All right, there we go, there we go. So we're gonna go ahead and pull the second piece off. We've already turned the flame off. Didn't get quite as brown as the other, but that's fine. So now we've got these warm fillets. Taste a little piece here, see how that is. My goodness. All right, so now we left this oil in the pan. We'll just wipe this down with the paper towel. That'll soak up most of that oil. And now for our tortillas. And we got two styles of tacos. We've got our traditional taco here, and then we've got our flour tortilla here. And what I'll do is I'll add a little oil to the pan, not much at all. Very little. Boom. Perfect. Put this tortilla in here. Mix that oil around. You can tell when it's heating, you start to see bubbles in the corners, around the corner. All right, it's getting cooked. You can see it starting to bubble up a little bit. Let's flip it over, hit this side. This one is breaking up a little bit. It's been in my bag for majority of the day. Oh yeah, nice and soft, nice and soft. Let's take this one off. Throw it down in our foil. A little bit more oil in there. Boom, perfect. Looking good, looking good. Boom. Tortillas are done. Now let's put these tacos together. Take our meat from our fish that we just finished cooking up. Got our two tacos. Grab a little tomato, sprinkle that on both of them. A little cabbage, cilantro. And red onion. Got mixed up a little bit in here, but it's all good. We'll add a little cheese to both of them. This white cheese is a crumbling cheese. It's called Queso Fresco. And on our flour tortilla, we'll add a Mexican cheese blend. And let's not forget our avocado. Nice little slice in here. Get a few pieces of avocado out. Move from the peel. One avocado there, one avocado there. Then lastly, we'll hit it with a little lime juice. And we're gonna add our sauce that we made earlier. And then we'll add a couple Serrano peppers for a little heat. And guys, I tell you what, it doesn't get much better than that. Taco Tuesday on the water, fresh fish. Let me give me a good little piece of one of these. You got those fresh vegetables. That Serrano gives you a little kick at the end. The chili adobo sauce, excellent. The lime adds the perfect flavor. Doesn't get much better, man. We appreciate y'all for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Man, go home, make you some good Taco Tuesday fish tacos. Doesn't get any better, man. It's been another great day on the water. LFE Worldwide, signing out.